going to talk about how to properly mount a master cylinder. But I got a couple other things that I want to discuss with you before we get into that, just in case you have not purchased your master cylinder yet, and why there's differences in different master cylinders. So if you're going to purchase a master cylinder and you're running a Top Sportsman Pro My Car, whatever, with a front spindle, they have different piston calipers. So this is a single piston and this is a dual piston. And the reason why I say that is because when you look inside of this piston caliper, there's just one single piston here, and this one here, there are two pistons in here. So let's say that we're building a street car. Well, we may need, and it's a heavy street car, we may need four piston. So that means four piston caliper up front and a four piston caliper in the rear. If we're building a lightweight Top Sportsman Pro My Car, we may need a single piston up front and a dual piston in the rear. Okay, so that's just going to be determined on our weights and the setup of the car, what we're building in the project here. So with that being said, they have different bore styles in these master cylinders. You may see one that says 1 1/32 bore, one that says 1 1/8 bore. Well, that's where this comes in. If you're running a four piston, then common sense says you're going to want a 1 1/8 bore, because you need more surface or more pressure for this four piston caliper. The 1 1/32 would be the single and the dual piston. So with that being said, I want to show you guys here on this board real quick of how to properly mount a master cylinder. So let's say that you already have your pedals mounted in the car, and we need to figure out where, now that we've got it figured out, okay, I need a 1 1/32 master cylinder, or I got a 1 1/8 inch master cylinder. We've got that all figured out, and my pedals are all put in the car. Now I need to know, where do I properly mount this master cylinder? Which is a really good question. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the formula. Now most of your master cylinder companies are going to say, hey, we want a ratio of a 5:1 pedal ratio or a 6:1 pedal ratio. That's pretty much going to be your window there, a 5:1 or a 6:1. Let's just say that your pedal's here, okay? So this is your pedal, this is your pivot point right here of where your foot would rest. So from here to the center line of this shaft right here, whatever this number here is, let's say this number is 8 inches. Okay, now we've got our master cylinder right here. Okay, these are our fill caps, and this is our shaft that's coming out with our heim on the end of it. Okay, so we need to know where this is at. So let's take our 8 inches, which is going to be the center line of our paddle here, which is going to be center line to center line of our paddle, and we want to divide that by, let's say, 5.5. So if we're at 5:1 on our pedal ratio on some master cylinders, and we're 6:1 on some, if we do 5.5, that should get us right where we need to be. So let's just take it and go, if we went 8 inches center to center divided by our ratio here of 5.5 equals, that is 1.45 inches. So from the center line of this, where this is at, to where this is going to want to be, is going to be 1.45 inches. So that, from the center here to here, is going to give us our proper 5.5:1 pedal ratio. Okay? Which is going to give us really good braking, the proper braking from the manufacturer of the master cylinder all the way down to the proper brake pressure on each master cylinder, on each caliper that we have here. So when we get ready to mount this, if we mount this, let's say we mount this up in here, then what's going to happen is when we mount this up this high, the brake pedal is going to be too soft. If we mount it too low right here, brake pedal is going to be too hard. We're not going to get any brake pressure out of this being down here too hard or up here by too soft. We're going to just totally lose it. So let's say in a typical brake system, we should be able to have 1,000 to 1,500 PSI in our brake pressure system. So if I'm up here or down here, I'd be lucky if it's too low or too high, we might get 300 to 400. Nowhere near enough brake pressure to stop your race car that you're trying to do. So it's very important that we get this correct ratio right here mounted. Now, one thing that I want to point out is that you can't take it here, okay, how I have this mounted here. You can't just say, okay, well, I want to take it and just stab a hole right here and put my master cylinder to it. That's not going to work, okay? This will not work because as this is pushing forward, you have no leverage on it. It's just going to pivot on here. So this is wrong. Don't do that. But what you do want to do is you want to have a piece of tubing that's welded right to here, and that this here will come and have your heim right there. And what that'll do is that'll have enough leverage that as you push this back, that'll have enough leverage on the front to give you your proper pressure into your master cylinder. Now, you want to make sure that this is level when you mount this rod, because there's a thing in here that you can have that much, maybe 20 degrees up or down, and we don't want to have it all the way mounted to the very top, and then as we're trying to push this pedal forward, it's trying to lift it up even more. So make sure that this rod here is level when you're mounting this master cylinder right here. So if your pedal's already in the car and your shaft is already mounted, your pedal's already mounted, and you're like, well, where do I mount this master cylinder? Whatever your center to center is on this pedal to this pad, divide it by whatever pedal ratio your manufacturer is looking for, and it'll give you the number. And that right there is very, very, very key on a race car, because 150 mile an hour to 250 mile an hour is huge in a door car, that if you're pushing on the pedal and it's not stopping, well, we may have the wrong pedal ratio. So it's very key to have this correct pedal ratio. So as a little tip, I want to show you guys something. This is just a bonus. Doesn't have anything to do with mounting anything, but you may have some questions. Some people have a shaft here, okay? And this is mounted, so this is your, let's say that this is your floor, okay? They may have their paddles mounted like this, okay? And then like this. And this could be a clutch, and this could be a brake. And you say, well, these are all mounted here on this same plane right here. It's fine. You can mount them like that. That's not a problem. But then when you look in some race cars, and this is your floor, and like what we do here, this is our shaft, okay? So the way we mount them here and the way we mount them here, then my paddle comes up, okay, on this angle, and then here it comes up on this right here, okay? The reason why I do this is because, let's say that this is a clutch and this is a brake. This right here, let's say that these are both the same height. This pedal here is at 12 inches, This pedal here is at 8 inches. Well, this pedal here is going to be, even though that they're the same height, this pedal here is going to have more leverage over this pedal. If these are at the same height and this is 8 inches and this is 8 inches, this is going to have more leverage. So if you're running a clutch car and you got a lot of bass in your clutch and you're sitting here trying to hold it at the starting line and it's difficult, well, the longer or the taller this pedal here is, the easier it is to push in because you have more leverage on it and you don't have to compensate your brake by having really tall pedals in the car. So if you see some that's mounted on an angle here and some that are straight, you have the same principles. This doesn't mean this is wrong and this is right, or vice versa. It just means that I get more leverage by doing this out of here. And then if I have this as my point right here at this end, then on my clutch can, it'll be that same height right here, so that it both have an arm right here and an arm right here with these holes through them. These are perfectly perpendicular from each other, and you won't have one rod here and one rod here and an angle on that, because that would not be correct. You want that to be as parallel as you can right here. So this is just a little bonus for you guys at the end. It doesn't have anything to do with a pedal ratio or anything, but just in case some of you guys are saying, well, how come I see some shafts that are straight and I see some that are on an angle? This is why. So it is very crucial to get the proper brake pedal ratio. So until next time, I appreciate you guys tuning in.